This is the time of year when we're going to have storms blowing through our town. And if you're a local roofer, what do? How do you handle this? Let's talk about handling storms locally. Hi, this is Daniel Lakstins, and you're listening to the Roofing Business Builder Podcast. I've been in the roofing industry for over 30 years. I've learned what it was like to be a contractor for 15, and I've worked on the manufacturing side for over 17 years. But I, with this knowledge, became your personal commercial roofing guru. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about storms coming through your town and being prepared, because you know what? Time is of the essence. And if you want to maximize the most amount of money and maximize your time, I have a few tips in this episode. But before we get into that, as usual, I am going to talk about an intention. And this episode of the Roofing Business Builder is brought to you by Roofing Business Builder, the actual program, because I actually talked about this in the weekly wins that we just had with all the guys and girl. And what we were talking about, well, I do a presentation once a week there, and we talk about mindset, we talk about technical concepts, and lastly we talk about prospecting before we get into talking about our wins. But it's always an amazing, exciting call that we do every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. If you're part of the Roofing Business Builder program, you'll be invited to that call, and it's amazing the things that we talk about there. So I highly encourage you. You can just go over to Roofing Business Builder and enjoy the program there. It's cheaper than a walker welder, and certainly will make you a lot more money than buying a new truck or even hiring a new salesman. But in this week, we're going to talk about our mindset. The mindset practice for this episode is I am focusing my attention where I choose to create intention. I'm focusing my attention where I choose to create intention. Intention. Well, what's the difference between attention and intention? Well, it pretty much is like when we're making an advertisement with our roofing business, we want to grab people's attention, right? So the advertisement has to be funny, or you can have different things. Just the way you make your advertisement is trying to grab someone's attention, right? And that's the reason why when we look at a beautiful woman, we say, oh, she's very attractive. And the thing is a lot of attractive women will be hit on by other people because they're attractive. That means the attention of people is going to be attracted to that person. And so if you're an attractive person, you have to live with that. Gosh darn it, we're all attractive people, aren't we? So but that's attention. It's attracting attention. Now here's the thing is, what you focus your attention on will grow inside you. So, I mean, again, say a lot of the guys in the roofing industry are guys. And so if you keep staring at a woman, then that's going to make certain hormones grow inside you. And then you may develop an intention, whether proper or improper. If you're married, do not do this stuff, right? But the point is it's a good illustration because human attraction grabs people's attention. But then if you hold your attention on that, it will grow inside you into an intention. Once you have intention, then things happen, right? So when you started your roofing business, you had an intention, right? Maybe it wasn't a total intention, but you're giving your attention to this concept. And the more you thought about it, the more the desire swelled up inside you, and then you were intention. So you see all those words match up to you were going to do something. And so again, the concept here that I'm discussing with you in a mindset practice is that you want to tell yourself that I'm focusing my attention on where I choose to create intention. You see, if you're married and you're seeing something that's grabbing your attention, there's nothing wrong with noticing, But don't allow your attention to be so focused on that you're going to do something that would harm that relationship that you have. And when it comes to your business, by the way, that's a relationship too. This is your baby, your business. You definitely want to be careful about where you throw your attention, because this is your relationship, your business. It's precious to you. So focusing on where you want to create intention. What are you going to get excited about in your business? So you want to focus on the money, right? Yes. Focusing on money then creates desire. Desire then creates opportunities. So that's a good thing. But when it comes to your business, maybe you should be focusing your attention on ways to make your business grow. I did an interview with Ken Kelly on one of the podcasts. He had a picture behind him with, I know he has over 300, I'm not certain how many employees he has now, but I know it's well over 300. But the picture, he had a picture of a portion of those employees. And that's a good place to focus your attention on. If you do look up to certain roofers that are very successful, that are running maybe a 10, 20, 30, $60 million roofing business, are you giving them your attention? Because when you focus on them and their business, it will swell desire in you to create intentions. And so you have to keep asking yourself, where am I focusing my attention? Because think about automation, think about KPIs, think about ways of growing. Because, and I know I talked about this in the last episode, but it's true. You know, if you don't sit down and actually focus on managing your business, then time will slip by, and that a part of your attention is being distracted by other things. So work at delegating some of these responsibilities to others, so that way your attention's not taken away from what's most important, and that is growing your business. Getting into our discussion about storm chasing, storm damage. And with Roofing Business Builder, the Roofing Business Builder podcast, I don't focus on storm chasing or storm damage. As a matter of fact, my program that I teach roofers how to scale their business into the multi-millions, ones that I've helped to grow to over 10 million in sales. And even Ken Kelly, and now granted, he was one of my customers years and years ago. I was very thankful to see him grow into a $60 million company. I'm not taking credit for that. He did that through automation, but that is what we teach in Roofing Business Builder. You have to delegate, learn to delegate and automate. So with Roofing Business Builder, I don't teach storm chasing, because there's plenty of other podcasts, different ones that are out there that teach that. What I teach is how to keep your business localized. Now, granted, you can travel the country too with what I teach, but I teach you how to do something specific, to focus on a specific niche or multiple niches, and then develop those relationships. So that's a key component to what I teach. So how does that relate to a storm coming into town? Well, you can have your attention distracted easily to things that don't make you money. You could end up maybe focusing so much on residential where you don't make that much money. Well, you can make a lot of money, granted, you know that. But the point is if you're developing a commercial roofing business or crossing over or developing a commercial roofing division, then you have to give your attention to those commercial leads. And the reason why is because if this is your local town, the storm chasers will come in. And when they come in, they're going to gobble up the largest big box stores. And that will happen to you, where you'll miss out on those if you are so focused on your residential. So it'd be good to delegate and get important people that you trust that will take care of the residential side, but you need to focus your attention on the commercial, because once those roofs are done, you're not going to see them, and this is your town. And let's face it, I've always been a person that would teach it's better that a storm doesn't come through your town. Because I have friends, I have customers and friends, and several areas in the country that are hail zones. And what happens is it's a feast or famine. A roof is only going to last between 8 and maybe 18 years. Sure, you can get a warranty for 20 or 30, but let's face it, materials break down because of the sunlight. And when that happens, that's great for us roofers because we have an opportunity to re-roof a roof maybe we did 15 years ago. I've done it before with my roofing business before I went into the manufacturing side of things. And it was a good feeling that, wow, this customer remembered me and called me up and I got to redo their roof, and it was great. In commercial, your hope is that this building that you just did, that customer may own maybe 10 buildings. And if they don't, within 3 years, if their business is successful, they may own 3 buildings. And then in 5 more years, they own, 10. So developing those relationships is key if you want to stay local. But what happens when those guys come into town and next thing you know, all your roofs are gone. You were in the commercial roofing business, but now you don't have any roofs. So that's what's tough. So the best thing is to delegate a lot of that residential stuff to someone that you trust, and then focus on getting in and getting out. So one of the techniques that I was going to share with you in this episode is that when it comes to looking at the initial damage, when you walk in there, you want to just go in or just get permission to get on that roof. That's the biggest thing. Just get permission to get on the roof. Don't try to sell yourself. Don't talk about your company. You can tell them your name and everything. You can give them a card, but the main idea is to get up there and do an inspection. Because if you actually sit there and try to sell your company to this person right now, well, what if there is no damage up there? And there's roof after roof after roof to be looked at. And time is of the essence because people are coming in from out of town. They're going to come in and gobble up all of these. So the best thing to do is to get permission and get up on that roof and then collect all the information and then schedule a time to present that proposal to the decision makers. Make sure that you ask that person, are you the only one that is going to be making this decision? Because if you don't, I've been there before. I'm sure you have too. You're sitting there and you find out that this person grabs your proposal, says, well, that sounds good. I'll bring this to the higher ups that will make the decision. He's like, no, I was supposed to be talking to you. That was you. So always ask, and don't be embarrassed, because you know what? After you waste your time enough times with some of these people, you'll be bold enough to ask. Because you're like, my time's valuable. Your time is valuable. And that's the reason why. Get in, get out, jump up on that roof. Now here's another point or two. When you get up on that roof, what's the first thing you're going to look at? You're just going to look around, right? No. Well, the first thing, always go to the perimeters first. That's where you're going to find a lot of damage, especially wind damage. It's going to be the metal edge termination that's going to be blown off. Why? Because some roofer bent it himself. and the manufacturer's not going to cover that warranty because it was done by the roofer. So remember, I'm always suggesting to use the manufacturer's products. That if the manufacturer bends it, the warranty is covered. If the roofer bends it, and if it's not installed properly by you, if you're the roofer and you bent your own metal, and somehow your guys or maybe a sub crew that you had didn't fasten it 6 inches on center, well, there's a high probability that those metal edges would come off. So always go to the perimeter first and then work your way in from there. And don't forget to look at the air conditioning units, right? Don't forget to look at the top of the blowers and any kind of rooftop equipment. You should be able to find some nice hailstones there. And don't forget to bring your equipment, what you need and everything else. But those are just a few tips that I wanted to share with you. And a lot of this we discussed in the Roofing Business Builder program and the weekly wins Q&A live call. I almost forgot. And now it's time for Did You Know? Did you know Did you know? And don't get my quote perfect because I didn't look this up, but it's something like over 80% of the cost of a re-roof is paid out because of only 3% of the cost of that entire roof when it was installed. Do you know why? Because it was the edge termination that caused the failure on the roof. And the edge termination is a lot cheaper than the rest of the whole roofing system. Is that crazy? So remember, all the insurance companies that where they would want to focus their mind on completely so you don't have to pay out insurance money is focusing on that edge termination. It's the most important part of the roof because that is the reason why a majority of the roofs are being paid out. So don't forget, get up on that roof, check out that edge termination. So that's it for the show. I'm so glad that you're listening to the podcast. Again, I'm just imagining you guys driving around that truck and heading to the next job. So I'm glad that I was able to ride around with you. So if you want to, please keep checking out all the episodes that are coming. And you can also see me on TikTok. I do a lot of law of attraction stuff there. And lastly, join the Roofing Business Builder program. It really is something exciting. You're going to love to be able to talk to me. You'll get my phone number. And again, it's cheaper than a walker welder. And what you'll benefit by is my over 30 years of experience, not only being a roofer, but also being a manufacturer's rep, where I basically taught everyone. I was their motivational speaker when I was repping, but in this form, in the Roofing Business Builder program, I can rep everyone, and there's no competition, meaning that we don't have to worry about me being compromised and sharing information about you with someone else. So it's a really good program. There's over 40 videos. There's 9 different modules. And then you get the Roofing Business Builder question and answer weekly wins call where you get to talk with me with a group of us roofers. And so we're sharing knowledge, and it's kind of like a little mastermind. We're all on this path together. So please consider joining the program. You're going to love it. I'm always wishing the best for you guys. I know we put a lot of miles on some trucks, don't we? And at least we have podcasts like this to listen to. When I was traveling across West Texas for 17 years, I would always be listening to podcasts or books on tape. So I'm so proud of you for listening and in your truck and taking in knowledge and growing and getting excited, because that's what I want you to do. Another thing that I said on one of my TikTok videos recently was get excited, because once you're excited, then it makes all your juices flow, and then you come up with great, amazing ideas. So it is summertime. Yes, you're distracted. We finally got some work, but guess what? Use this excitement to brainstorm, to think of ingenious ways of growing your company. Remember to focus your attention on things that you want to create desire that will turn into an intention. And until the next podcast, I don't always consult on commercial roofing, but when I do, I make millionaires. Stay wealthy, my friends.